Hi, it's Sandy Parker. Welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to be making this cute little tablet cover that comes with a matching little tablet and a matching little pen. Too cute. Great gift. It's a good idea for Easter to give to the people that you have to your dinner, or for teachers for the end of school year coming up. There's lots of good ideas to use this for, but I thought it was really cute and I thought it would be something that we should try. I saw it on YouTube on a girl named Shel Fabian that she's made them, and mine is a little bit different from hers, but it's the same basic concept. So I asked her and she said it'd be okay if we showed it, so I really appreciate that. Thank you, Shel. So let's get started. Oh, first let me tell you, I got the mini writing tablets. I got those at the Dollar Tree, as well as the pens. They obviously were $1, and you get several of them, and you just have to kind of tear them apart at the cardboard. Here are the measurements you're going to be needing. Of course, I'll put them in. All of the information will be in the comments, but I like to give it to you now in case you just want to write it all down really quickly. Your outside piece of paper is going to be 8 3/8 wide by 5 1/4 inches tall. You're going to score on the long length at 3 5/8, 4, and 4 3/8. For decorating the front and the back, you're actually going to need 3 of each of these. I'm going to just wipe that off, and we'll just say 3 of all of them. The plain color, you're going to need 3 1/2 by 5 1/8. Pattern paper, you're going to need 3 3/8 by 5 inches, and you're going to need a strap for holding the tablet that's going to be 4 3/4 by 2 inches tall. And then you're going to need embellishments, of course, for the front. So let's get started. I'm going to do it pretty similar to the other one, only this time I'm going to do it with a red background. I did get a question about my scoreboard. This is a Martha Stewart scoreboard. It also is a cutting board, but it's very, hold on, sorry. It's very difficult for me to use this because you push down on this little bar, and I never can seem to get enough pressure on it to actually get it to cut properly. So we're going to score this at 3 5/8. Let's see, that would be right there. 4 and 4 3/8. Okay, at this point, for confusion's sake, if I was you, I would just put, I was trying to find a pencil, which is never an easy thing for me to do. I'm just going to do this in white pencil. I'm just going to put a T there for tablet. The reason for that is sometimes it gets confusing, and this side is wider than this side. So when you do this project, sorry again, when you do this project, it's easier if you know that up front. And the tablet means it's the farthest on the right side of the paper, and that'll help you as well. The very first thing you want to do is you want to fold it at your middle score line. Remember, we have 3 score lines here, so we want to fold it at our center score line. Now you'll see when you do that the back part is longer than the front. Ignore that. That's not important to you. We're going to now cut up to the score. See the score line? You're going to cut a notch in here so that you'll be able to put your pen in. So you're going to cut 1 notch to the score line. Hold on, a little bit more, and then I'm going to go down a little bit more, maybe 1/2 inch, and cut another score line, or excuse me, cut another line to the score line. So now you can see we have 2 cuts in this. Okay, now you're going to go to the back part, and you're going to fold, excuse me, fold up on the last score line. And you want to make sure that you're able to do that. Now we're going to put in our tape. Did that cut? Yeah, it did. Didn't look like it cut through all the way. That was really impressive, the way I cut that. I couldn't even tell. I'm like a genius. Well, you know that's not the truth. So then we're going to put our tear tape. I'm using tear tape. You can use red line tape. You really can use anything, but it has to be a really strong adhesive. It can't be something that's like, you can't use like a tape runner or ATG gun. That's just not strong enough for this. And I would recommend you using something that's not a wet glue either, because wet glue is kind of You could do it, but it would be very cumbersome, and I would probably let it sit between sessions and dry before you go from this step to the next. Okay, you really want to burnish that down so it's easy to get your tape off, or your top paper off. Sometimes it's easy to get off and sometimes it's not. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to fold back, you're going to fold your second fold, your second score line, and your third score line. You're going to fold those two. So you're going to fold it on that. My little slit has a boo-boo hanging out of it. You're going to fold it so that second fold, or that second you're gonna lay it down so that only the first set of scores, from the last score to the middle score, is what you're gonna glue down. Then you're gonna stick your finger in there and that pops up. That's bugging me, I gotta cut that off. I just have a little piece of paper that's just driving me nuts because I can see it. I know you probably can't, but I can. It's making me nuts. You know how you have this little weird quirk, so I guess that's mine. Then what you want to do is you want to fold on your first score line. I'm going to fold it up on your first score line. I know this is not the easiest thing for someone like me to do. Okay, so now you can see we have our little pen holder, and we know that this is where we're going to put our tablet because the T is right there. So the next thing we're going to do, I hope you understood that. I put the tear tape between the second and the third score line, and then I just pushed down on the second score line so that was the second and third were stuck together. Then I push my finger in there to push out the notch. So now you have your first score line is the one that we just folded up, and now it's like a folder. I hope that was easy. I don't know. I'm sorry if I didn't explain that well. I really struggled with how to explain that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our strip of paper that we have to put our tablet on. And I'm going to use one of these yellow tablets, and I left them all together so you can see how they come. And they're lined. They're nice tablets, really. They're, for $1 you get, what do you get, 5 of them? 6 of them? 5. It's an optical illusion, kind of. Okay. Then you're just going to go to where the cardboard meets, and you're going to tear it off. So then you're going to take your piece of cardstock. You're going to center it on either side of your notebook. Then you want to pull it a little bit more this way. Then you're going to want to fold it around, not tightly, but not loosely. And the reason for that is it has to, some of the cardboard on these is kind of weird, so you have to be able to slide it up and down. You have to be able to get it off. That's the point of this, is so that you can use one of those other notebooks on it. So you want to make sure, I don't know if you can see this, but you want to make it so that this can slide up and down, but it's tight enough that it holds it firmly in place. So we're going to put more of our tear tape on the back of this. And really, all we have left to do after this is decorate. So it's not that hard of a project. I made it hard just because I struggle with, I think I've told you before, I'm not mechanical at all. And when you have to talk through the mechanics of something, I really confuse myself. Really confuse myself. I've made 3 or 4 of these, and I still, every time I do them, I have to think through that part of it every time. So I'm removing the cover off of our tape, and I'm doing that on both sides because I'm living on the edge dangerously here. Okay, we're going to the part where it says T, and you're going to do it straight up and down. Oh, I cleaned some stamps today, and that's why my hands are pink. there was red ink on them, and you know how that goes. I ended up with it all over me, and then I couldn't get it off. I've washed my hands several times, and it's still living with it. And then all I do is I just center it in there, and then I push it down, and then I would pull out the cardboard, and I would take my bone folder, which I'm going to show it to you. Remember, I cleaned it. Ooh, how pretty is this? It's clean. Okay, I'm over that. And then you're going to just take your bone folder and push down inside to make sure that you don't have any problems with this coming off, because the last thing you want to do is give this to somebody and have it come off. Okay, then we can put our tablet back on. Okay, probably the trickiest part is for me to put the tablet back in. No, the trickiest part was that mechanical part. Oh, jeez, let me hold on to it and do it myself. Oh, brother. Why? Come on. Work with me. Okay. Jeez. You'd think I was doing something that was really hard, but it wasn't. So then I have these papers that I'm going to decorate the front with. And I gave you all the measurements for these. And I don't know how you do this part, but for me it works best if I start on an edge, and the long edge, and I center basically 3 sides. I know that I only have about 1/8 of an inch all the way around, so it's not like I have a lot of room to work with. So I just want to make sure that if I can see these sides, then I know that the 4th side is close. And it was good. See how lucky that was. Then we're going to put this on the front. Oh, I said then. Darn it. I'm working so hard at that. I'm not doing very good at it, honestly. If you don't watch my videos, I have a tendency to say "and then" a lot. If you do watch my videos, then you already know that I say it a lot. And this pattern can go either up or down. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm centering this basically on 3 sides. Then I made a piece for the back. I also made a piece for the back. This is why you need 3. Now she doesn't do the decorating on the inside and on the back that I did. I thought about doing a pocket on the inside, but then I thought that was too much work. I mean, it is just a little notebook. It's not like we're looking for this to be anything spectacular. Now the back again is a little bit wider than the front, so when you center it, you're going to be centering it on a wider piece. So you want to make sure that you center it more that way. And then, oh Lord, and I did a piece for on the inside. Okay, this is what I've always told you guys to make sure, is that if your pattern is one way, you have to make sure you're consistent with it. Well, of course I ran out of this paper, so now I'm going to have this inside piece go the opposite direction. Do you see where my little flowers are up and down here, and now they're going to be side to side? I'm not bothered by it because it's on the inside, but it was a stupid mistake. I should have really looked at it when I was cutting it, but I didn't. That's another thing that sometimes really confuses me, is doing that. Oh, what doesn't confuse me? Who are we kidding? There, now the inside looks well done, and I have a little pen in there. Then what we're going to, oh geez, I'm not saying that anymore. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is this. I decided I was going to put a little banner across that, so I'm going to use this punch, and I'm going to try and center it. I did one side of it. It's not the world's easiest punch, let me tell you. It definitely needs to be sharpened. I don't know, some of these punches that you buy, I swear that when you buy them, they're just not, the quality of the blades or whatever is just not there. They're just really hard to use, especially these border punches. If you've never used one of these, there's a pattern on either side of the center. And what you do is once you've punched this, you start in the center. Once you've punched the center, then you want to move your pattern over until it matches up with the pattern on the sides. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. There we go. I'm going to have to bring that toward me a little. Did not want to do it. Okay. Then the last piece, I'm going to line up. It's having issues. There's definitely something. Throw that out, but it seems like there's something stuck in there. Stuff keeps flying out, so definitely there's something in there. We're going to do our very last punch, and then we'll be done. It's really easy to move on the last one because when you do these, you have a little piece of paper that sticks out. See this little piece of paper? That goes the whole length of your page, but as you keep cutting across, this piece becomes non-existent except for in that very last section. So it's really easy to wobble this. I'm not sure if that's too wide. Doesn't look, it's kind of cute though. I think I'm going to go with it. What do you think? Cute? Not cute. I'm going to put a little mark right there, and then we'll just take our trimmer. This is the easiest way to do it. You just take your paper trimmer and you put it in, line up that mark you made. There we go. So then we can just put that down. That looks good. Glue that down. And then I'm going to make a bow because I just said and then. And I have this bow punch from Stampin' Up. They're nice. These punches are nice. I personally did not realize, I guess I thought when you got something like this that they would have everything you needed in one punch to make it work, but you have to punch it twice. I always thought that was kind of, I don't know, I just thought that, and you don't need everything that you punch twice, you only need part of the things you punch twice. It's still a nice punch. I'm not saying it's not a great punch, it's just kind of, I don't know, my expectations were too high apparently. Then what you're going to do, I said then again, I'm so sorry. You're going to kind of use something to do like you used to do with ribbon, curl it a little bit on these two pieces, the ones that are a circle in the middle. You just kind of do something, do a little bit of curling on it. You're going to need glue dots for this, and I have them right here. And for once, I do have a tool that I was going to use with it. I was going to use my tweezers and do that. For these particular bows, what you do is you put down the little glue dot, and as in all things, the glue dot is going to stick to everything that you don't want it to stick to. And you're just going to pinch it together like that. This is how I do it. Stampin' Up! People, you probably have another technique that's correct and not this one, but I'm sorry, this is the way I'm doing it. It's probably wrong. Do it again with the other side. There while I was making the rest of my bow, but all I did was do the exact same thing as you already saw on the other side, and then I stuck glue dots on the back on both sides and on the middle, and so all we're going to do then is press it down, and there we go. It's a cute little notebook. I think it's easy. Hopefully you could follow my directions. If you can't, I apologize. I'm not good with mechanics, as you know, so I'm working on that, trying to explain things that are a little complex a little bit better. But there's our project. I hope you like it. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And you might want to check out Shel Fabian's site. I'll have it down in the comments. And please share my website with your friends and tell them about it on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever. I don't know whatever else is out there. You just spread the word if you would. I'd appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you'll join me when I do a video on different ways I'm going to be using a new embossing folder that I got that I really love. So if you'll check that out, that'll be great. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.